Hello, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
And today, we're drinking bourbon. All right, Ben. I owned this bottle of bourbon. This is actually a new bottle, but I've owned this bourbon for several years. I didn't actually know the name of it.
Yeah.
I keep referring to it as Rare Bird.
Well, it's not Rare Bird. Bam. It is Wild Turkey Rare Breed.
And note to the marketing department of the Wild Turkey, you missed an opportunity.
Could have been Rare Bird. You know what, though? Maybe they just come up with another one.
Oh, they should.
Rare Bird.
Rare Bird.
10-year cask strength. Or as they call it, barrel proof. So this is Wild Turkey barrel proof, essentially. It's just the high proof.
This is one of the longest running kind of special bourbons. It's been around since 1991. They used to release them in batches, not annual, but just there'd be a batch 1, batch 2, batch 3. In the modern times, the only way to tell the difference is by the proof point. This one's 116.8.
And so these vary by batch then,
Exactly.
the proof point.
Yeah.
I think I always see them around the 116.
Well, that's this for 2000 or 2021. That's this batch.
So it's a year.
It seems to run more than a year,
Okay.
but so eventually they'll move on to another. But right
Okay.
now they're on the 116.8.
Sweet. Well, that sounds wonderful. I've had this before. You've had this before.
Yep.
But I haven't had it in a little bit. I had a bottle that,
I think it's been a year for me, probably.
yeah,
We do
finished
like
off
turkey.
the tail end of a bottle this last summer, but
You should have called it turkey feathers.
turkey feathers. Finished off the turkey feathers. But yes, you were saying we both very much like wild turkey stuff. Oh yeah, it's just
And me the
weird opening to this bottle. I've always thought
like
it's
it
just
looks
like this
wrong.
little tiny. You get this big,
Yeah.
impressive wooden cork top. It has a turkey on it.
A bird.
Yeah, a rare bird. As with anything wild turkey, really deep, rich flavors.
Yep.
Deep, dark caramel.
So the mash bill is 75% corn, 13% of the rye, and if you do the math, that leaves 12 for the malted barley.
Yeah. And they say high rye on their stuff. We've talked about this before. Oh, 13% I would consider high rye, but
It seems to be
it's higher than
average-ish.
the normal 8% that a lot of basic,
Yeah.
is kind of a basic.
Yep.
Yeah, this is got a really nice spice to it, at least on the nose.
Wow. You get a real cinnamon and nutmeg flavor, but it's light. It's not. I wouldn't call this a cinnamon forward bourbon, but it's got some really nice spice.
It's there. This one, right off the bat, what hits me in the face about this one, like my thoughts on it. And we've mentioned this about a couple other things, but in a world where people chase down allocated stuff and they pay
Too much.
astronomical prices, and this is on the shelf every day, and this is just as good as most of the allocated stuff I've tried.
This is what, like a $50, $60 bourbon?
No, it's sub 50.
Oh, really?
usually.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
45-ish.
Okay.
Yeah, so for $45, I think I paid 48 last time I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just, this is just one of those ones that it's on the shelf, it's everywhere, it's available, and it's quality and flavor-wise, I think I put it up against most things.
Yep, I agree.
Most of those rare ones that people just chase down and lose their minds over and drain their bank accounts trying to buy on the secondary.
I get a lot of honey notes on the second sip.
Yeah?
Even the first sip, I noticed it. Almost like you squeezed a little bear of honey into your mouth. Not that I've ever done that.
No, you're meaning the plastic bear,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
Just to clarify that. Oh, that's just so good. Everything about that. That's a perfectly balanced bourbon, I think.
It's got 116 proof type kick and burn,
Yeah.
but it is so nice.
Yeah, and if you like that, I mean, now I know not everybody likes a proof
yeah.
point that high, but you and I tend to.
But you'll get there.
Yeah, exactly, and that's that's the thing. When I first started drinking bourbon, I didn't want the huge punch in the face, but as you get a little more acclimated to that, it's nice to get to that point because it brings a lot more flavor. The high proof point, because when you're proofing down anything with water, you're also proofing down the flavor, not just the alcohol burn. So, and for a barrel proof 116, I mean, that's a great, it's not a club you over the head, with 130 proof.
Yeah.
And I've had 130 proof bourbons that I really like.
Totally.
But yeah, this is just this should be on the shelf at all times. I don't have a bottle right now. Like I said, I killed one earlier this summer and just haven't gotten around to getting a replacement because I bought a handful of other things. But yeah, I mean, this one, if you're into bourbon and you like higher proof stuff, if you haven't had this should be on this should be on your to-do list.
Your buy list, yep.
Stop looking for, that really hard to find stuff if you're, striking out on that on a day of bourbon hunting. Pick one of these up on the way out of the store if you didn't happen to find that George T. Stagg sitting on the shelf somewhere. This is just an excellent.
It is.
I really can't say enough good things about this.
I agree. Like, this is awesome. It's hard to describe though. Like, I'm not getting a lot of individual notes. It's sweet, but it's not cotton candy. It's maybe brown sugar and caramel.
It's just, it's got a sweetness to it that's like, it's just so
honey,
rich and like, but there's like the recent things that we've tasted, and I don't know what order we'll release these on the channel, but brown sugar notes have been kind of common in the past few that we've done. I'm getting that on this, but it's got a nice baking spice on top of just the brown sugar. It's got like a little bit of cinnamon, but not a whole lot, but just enough to really give it that nice, just well-rounded sweetness, but it's a little bit sharp too, but in a good way.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it's got a lot of different flavors, but because of the slightly higher proof, and I'm guessing some slightly higher age, it just is a really good bourbon. Like, there are $80 bourbons that aren't this good.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. There are, like I've said, there are allocated bourbons that people chase down that are not this good. I
was going to make an inappropriate comment about a little bourbon that has a horse on the top, but...
I was just going to say that too. Hey, people pay like $250 for Blanton's. That is nothing compared to this.
Yeah. And Blanton's is a good bourbon.
It's a good bourbon, but...
At MSRP. Don't chase it.
Yeah. And to be perfectly honest, even if it's $65 MSRP, I think is, for what it is, at the end of the day, it's a 90.3 proof, 6 to 8 year bourbon. That's what it is.
With a nice bottle.
With a really nice bottle. Yep. Yeah. It's good, but yeah, with this stuff sitting on the shelf that, people may just walk by because they want to try to find something weird or rare or, something like that. There's so many excellent ones out there. And I think at some point we'll do a video about just great alternatives to allocated stuff, And this is certainly going to be in that list. I think we both probably strongly agree on that.
I got it. To the marketing department at the Wild Turkey, I think he replaced the stopper with a bird.
That's a great idea. But then the problem is people will go, oh, look, there's a shiny little animal on top of it, and then they'll freak out, and then next thing you know, this gets allocated.
Well, then you can raise the price to $60, and then the internet will go crazy.
So actually, I want to rewind everything that I've just said. This is a terrible bourbon. Don't buy it. Don't seek it out. Don't hunt it. Don't keep it on your shelf. It's awful. You don't want this. Just, if you see this on the shelf, leave it.
I disassociate myself with everything he just said or is about to say.
I'm just saying that because then there's more left for us. I could drink this all day. I mean, I physically couldn't because at 116 proof,
I agree.
Eventually the bourbon's going to win out on that.
Bourbon 1, Ben 0.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, just flavor-wise, this is so good.
It is.
So good. It's a perfect bourbon as far as I'm concerned. So if you can't tell, we recommend this.
Yeah, I agree.
Strongly.
And if you work Wild Turkey, call me.
Yeah. I would imagine if somebody who works at Wild Turkey was watching this video in the beginning.
Thank you for watching.
They might not still be here, but.
No, we've not said anything inappropriate at all. Unless we put your brief clip there at the beginning, which...
And make it look like we're giving it a terrible review.
Yeah, that's actually a funny idea.
Yeah, I probably will do that.
Yeah, I would suggest
Spoiler
that,
alert, this is how we feel about it.
Yeah.
Keep moving on. So anyway, well, this has been Wild Turkey Rare Breed, not Rare Bird, Rare Breed, on the Bourbon Note. And Ben.
I'm Greg. Thanks for watching. Cheers.